Caris Vujcec here today with the Pepper Podcast Six-Pack Series and our fabulous guest. I'm so excited for you to meet Lenore Pemberton. Pepper's incredible costume designer, among many other things. And we also are joined with Katie Brow, who is our sound engineer handling all these podcasts. Shout out, before we get to the interview with Lenore, shout out today, special shout out to Brett Weesey, Tribe and Imports, upstate New York, Syracuse, from where I hail, and Richard Bill, Wine for the World, provided really a lot of great assistance and support for this Ricochet campaign and into the filming and everything else that we may have needed in the world of wine. So thank you both, gentlemen, Brett and Rich. We love you. Today we're talking with Lenore, our costume designer, who has been with the project, I am so grateful to say, since the very first funding trailer.
Yes.
Lenore was an actor and transitioned into design. She is also a sign language interpreter, creator of many beautiful things with her hands and fabric, and including the, I will get them in a minute, the Pepper musettes that have been in the campaigns. We are here to talk with her. Lenore and I met doing a production of The Seagull many moons ago. And she was just a luminous Nina, and friendship sparked and has been ever since. So Lenore, take it away. Tell us a little bit about yourself, or a lot about yourself.
You know, it's funny you talk about The Seagull because Nina was my dream role. I really wanted to play Nina, and I didn't ever know that I would ever get the chance to do it. And pretty much after that, I realized there were other things that I wanted to do. I've made things since I was a little kid, and all things with fabric and all of that. And so design is something I've always done. And being able to tell a story through what someone's wearing, as it's the closest thing, the one layer between you and the world is what you have on. It's your clothing. So you're telling, yeah. I mean, you talk so much about who you are through what you have on, and being able to show a person's heart, show a person's trajectory through what they're wearing has always really been a thrill for me. So I was really happy to switch over, and it sort of happened spontaneously, and I'm loving it. I really love it, and I'm thrilled and honored to be able to do this with you. I mean, I find you just brilliant in all ways.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Too kind.
You're brilliant.
Oh, you're very kind, and thank you. And the feeling is mutual. And you know, I've been gushing over my team here throughout these interviews, and you know, that's because I'm so proud, and I'm just extremely grateful for everybody on the team. And I will say, Lenore, having been with Pepper since you know, she designed this. I'm going to go get it in a minute. Designed this, the initial for the funding trailer, the hat and veil that I wore. We've had such a close, tight relationship, and what I have been astounded by and so appreciate is her ability and for our communication. But it's on her. Her ability to listen to what I was thinking in the design concept, and here's what I'm thinking, here are the ideas about the character, here's kind of how I want to go, or I'm not sure about this. And then a whole world opened up to me as a creator of this character with what Lenore brought to the table. Cannot thank you enough about that, because what Pepper wears, what she chooses, from the shoes to the dress to the jacket to the jewelry, is so significant, and it is the layer between her and how she relates to the world. So can you, yeah.
So she is so multi-layered that everything that she puts on really means something. And she's really a minimalist, so that every single thing she puts on has meaning for her. She doesn't just put on a bracelet. It's a bracelet that's powerful. It shows her power. It gives her strength. It's a watch that is effective and timely, but it's also unique. It's like she's not just any woman. She's like a very specific woman who knows herself. And every item that she wears is rich, has story to it. And I find that
and significant. And that's exactly what, I mean, that's so much of what you brought to creating this character and what you have brought to the table for me. And I am eternally grateful, because those signature pieces of the watch, and I mean, and having to, picking up in the stairwell, a little, hint of what, to come in Ricochet, not giving too much away, but having to go back and revisit the jewelry that we did have, that we used, was so, I mean, it was such a point of connection for me as an actor to put that back on. And, might not really realize what that means when you're choosing something. What Lenore selected for Pepper for the costume for the lake house shoot. Just the pieces that we used, the cuff, the things that she found, so character defining. I guess that's what I want to say. And for me as an actor, then, separate from the creator of the character, working with you, the designer, of course, what you are creating for her, for the character, it's exciting for me to see what you show up with. It's like, whoa, I get to wear this,
It's fun.
So can you tell me a little bit about how you go about thinking about that when, you read the script and we have a conversation, and then I say, so run with it. What maybe is your process, or what,
Well, I'm very interested in getting inside the head of a character, where she is at that moment in her life when she's going to meet up with her mentor. She's going in, at her strength, but her heart's open, so she's like, when she goes, she's not a person who asks for help often, but when she does, she goes from a place of real strength, but also, I wouldn't do this if it weren't the most important thing in the world. So everything, it's very bare bones. It's like, but she's also got a flash. One of my favorite things to do was...
I'm going to cry because you so get it. She so gets it, everyone. This is why Lenore is so incredible. Continue.
It was so fun to have the camisole, but with the apricot bra colors peeking out, because she's very feminine in her way. And I love that. I love that about her. And I love that you bring that out in her. So it's very important to me that she doesn't look like she wants to be a guy, because she doesn't. She's strong and she knows it, but she's a woman. And so each element is it's very cool. So I really look at her heart. That's the first thing that I read when I go through. It's like, where is she in her life at this moment? And how can I bring that? And like, I don't know if you noticed, like, how soft she was. It's very important that even the textures are really important. The colors, she tends to be a muted color kind of person, but with one snap of brightness.
Right. Like the white, like that white jacket, what we used for the car scene.
Absolutely.
In the pilot, just so classy.
Elegance.
And to the note of the fabric, the cargo pants that I was, yes, that I squeezed on, but they were so comfortable because they were soft texture, and I had to be able to move in them because it was, action. And so, but I like that you bring that up, because clothing is so important. And for moving on to other, not that we can't go back to Pepper, but moving on to what you chose for Sam, and how you and addressing Sid and Scott, our Voice Friday in the stairwell. Can you talk a little bit about that, about your choices there for those gentlemen?
Yeah, for them, they are guys who are super supportive. They're like, well, that's with Sam. Sam, very supportive, really there, really got your back. But he's like in the relaxed time of his life, but he can't leave that city part of him behind. He's got the cigars, he's got the baseball caps with, Brooklyn on it, or flag. He is all him, and you can see even just through what they're wearing how much they're connected, because they both are so themselves, and they are unapologetic about who they are. And
Yeah.
I love that. So it's very important.
Yeah.
To give him that relaxed air, almost too rich to care kind of, he's like
exactly. And for everyone, for part of the process we go through, Lenore shows up, she has a fitting or, a virtual fitting or conversation fitting with, getting sizes and maybe assessing maybe type of body type and things like that. You can speak to more of that. But what I love about how we work as a process is she'll show up in my apartment or meet with someone, and she brings options, which of course is something that might be common, but it's different with Lenore because she brings all great options, and you sometimes have to decide, oh no, I want this, but I want this, or what's going to work best. But we have, we have. I remember that day at the when we were choosing some things at the lake house, we had a couple different hats, we had different shirts, we had boots and things to see what best fits for the character. And it's not only dictated by what the character's doing in the scene, but who the character is and what they're rooted in.
Absolutely. It's like the boots that we chose for Pepper, for example. They couldn't be just any boots. They couldn't just be, okay, throw on some Doc Martens and we're fine. It's not like that. They had to be just the right amount of worn in.
Right.
Even though that you might look at them and they might be a little bit masculine, but they've got those pink laces.
It had the pink laces, which was it's amazing.
Yeah. Like army combat boots with pink laces. So
right.
It's like it's all that's really, really important. And for Sam, he had to have such freedom of movement. And it also, I wanted him to have something that he could possibly have a gun hidden underneath of it, because he never lets that protector part of him go. He would never leave her or himself either, but mostly her. He would never leave her unprotected. And so I definitely wanted him to have that,
room.
Yeah. So that was really fun. And it was also when I talked to actors about their characters, I get to combine what I have been thinking about the character and where they're going and what they've got going on, and what the actor thinks about what the character has going on. And it's rare when we're miles apart, so.
Yeah. And those are great questions that, working in, I don't want to use the word mainstream because that maybe sounds diminishing, but working in, episodic or working in, on a set, bigger budgets, in the industry, you don't, as an actor coming on the set, always get to have that dialogue. Co-stars or guest star roles for actors, which a lot of us, have done, Sid Williams and Scott Janes and certainly Michael Pemberton. You don't always get to have, you sometimes get to have, what do you like? What don't you like? What feels good? You do have some latitude with that. I know with SVU, they've been very good with me when I was recurring as Campisi. I did have a selection. I did have a great dialogue with them. So hats off to them for that. You have, but most of the time you really don't. It's kind of like you show up, you have your fitting, you have a few things, but you certainly don't get a say in the design of it. So I'm really happy that you have had that dialogue with our actors, with the cast, because it's important what they're in. I know, so Archie, Sid, who plays Archie, and Scott, who plays Bobby, just to touch on that a little bit, your experience with what you were looking for with them.
So,
and that was from the pilot too. Since this was carryover, go ahead.
Working with Sid was really fun because he didn't know how attractive he is. He did not get that not only is he as a person attractive, but so is his character. And so I put a much more fitted shirt on him than he ever would have put on himself. And it gave him it gave him more of a Bond kind of feel, it had him in his own way be more sweet, be more, smooth, because he's a very smooth character. He's like, he always is able to put his hand on just the right thing. He's able to, he knows with one ring of the phone, he knows what's happening. He knows what he's got to do. And while he's responding to Pepper's need, who's already adjusting the stove and all that, he's also a brilliant chef.
Yeah.
So
he's hot. He's my Renaissance man. You know, he's you know,
right.
Yeah.
So I made an apron for him that's like got pinstripes and really very elegant, but all of the just far more elegant than I think he was originally thinking. But he was like, yeah, you know, he got it. It's like, yeah, he's like, well, I'm looking pretty, and he was looking pretty good, and that's really it was such an important element for me, and ultimately for him too. And
thanks for bringing that up. Thank you. I kid with, and he's going to watch this and be laughing, but I kid with Sidney Williams, the actor who plays Archie. I say, "Oh, get ready. You're going to be in Down Dog on a yoga mat and get a call from Pepper." and that's how versatile this character is. He cooks, he sings opera, he does yoga. He, nothing he can't do. And then he shows up. He's ready there for her.
Absolutely.
So, and then Scott Jane's playing Bobby, our other, sleek, hot, adorable.
And I really appreciate you having very hot men in the show. So just throwing that out there, like always good. But he's able to like change in a second. So the chameleon aspect of him is really very fun to play with. And so having a vest on him and putting the pink, just the pink
edges,
gray, charcoal gray vest, it fits in with the hotel, with the bar, so he's a person who can fit in any place.
Right.
And he fits in at the same time that he stands out. And it was a very fun thing to be able to put those things together.
I love that. And I love those color combinations for that whole palette that we did for the hotel, and then leading into this next episode where he, is, we're all in the stairwell. People know we're in the stairwell, but anyway, so thank you. No, I know. Well, we've been doing a little hush hush here and there with things. So for you, we talked a lot about Pepper and other projects that you've worked on, and how you've other things that you've enjoyed that you've wanted to share, that you want to share or talk about, other things that you highlights for you.
Well, I got to work an entire summer on a feature film with Morgan Freeman and one of my favorite costume designers, Sean Hawley Cookson. And it was really great to be able to take a time period. It's like the 70s, but is it then? Is it now? So it was really great to be able to take a time and a mood and add that in. And not for nothing, it was really fun to work with Rob Reiner and
oh wow,
yeah, they're awesome. And they would do things like while we're waiting for the perfect light at sunset, they'd be singing on the porch of this house. They would sing the old songs together, and I just
what a riot!
Absolutely loved it. And I had this one moment where, if it had been anybody other than Morgan Freeman, I think I would have been just so mortified. He said, "So, do you think I could get a pair of slippers?" I'm like, "You're wearing a pair of slippers. That's the character slippers." He goes, "But are they a pair?" And I look down, and they're so close. They're not exactly the same. So the right, same color, also, but they were just ever so slightly different. I'm like, and I will bring you the proper shoe in just a moment. It was really very cool. He's so detail oriented.
How were they not the same? Well, they're just
his slippers were, one had a more rounded toe and one had a more square toe. Same color, same texture, same just about, but one was just rounded and the other one was just a bit more square. And he's like, "No, these aren't the same." I'm like, "Oh wow!" And I knew
that's so cool. Yeah,
knew that there were two, but when
put side by side,
got put in the bag, one of one of the other got put in the
okay.
So it was really wild. I was like, and we had a big laugh about it, as opposed to some people that I've worked with have less flexibility,
Yeah.
But I I've been really lucky. I've worked on, Oscar-nominated films. I've been able to do a lot, and even
Wow.
more assistant costume designer than as an actor. Part of what I like about the difference for me was I worked on a film from pre-production to post-production as a costume designer. As an actor, sometimes I would jump in on a day or I'd be there for a week or whatever, but being able to really be there, get the vision, get Rob Reiner's vision, get Darren Aronofsky's vision, and then try and develop it, that's very cool. I mean, that's really, really cool.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, part of what is a thrill for me is like really getting in the imagination and of the director, of the characters, of the life of the whole world. Because one of the things that we are honored to do as creators of this visual media is to create a world and to be there so that nothing's disturbing, but things are often surprising. And I love it. I don't know. I love it.
That's brilliant. That's really, really well said. Wow. Wow. I'm going to go away for 2 seconds to get that hat.
One of the cool things about the hat was we just talked on the phone, and I heard a little bit about what she wanted and what was happening in the story, because this was like really in the beginning of the development of Pepper, and I was like, ooh, she's so full of mystery, and so really fun to come up with this hat. It was awesome.
I'll skip this face. This is the hat with the veil that Pepper wore. And hopefully when we get funding, co-production, we'll be wearing again to complete that scene for the initial Pepper Project pilot trailer in the confessional with the priest. So isn't it amazing, y'all?
It's super cool. And part of what was really inspirational for me is Pepper is so ruled by her past, and that hat is very inspired by a bride. And in a way, especially in the beginning, she was married to her past. So that really felt like just right for me, And as we talked about, you had in mind, I thought that really.
Yeah, no, it was, and it just so exceeded my expectations. I remember when we met and you gave it to me, I was like, oh my God. I mean, I could not have imagined. I have my Facebook, my current profile photo has this. I'm wearing it right now. I haven't changed the photo, but this is it. So yay!
I like too the way it's sort of like fishnetty.
Yes. Well, that's what I love about it too. It's like it's kind of irreverently sexy.
You're going to church and you're
going to confession, but you know what? I got my veil with the fishnet, so hear me now or don't. What I also wanted to just take a minute to brag about is Lenore. I had approached Lenore with an idea for what I wanted for the opening scene for the pilot with Pepper was riding her bike and she needed a bag. And I said, you know what? I got this idea. Let's do these and come up with it and market it and, I don't know, patent it so that we have our Pepper musettes. And so, again, I discussed with Lenore a vision for what I wanted, how I wanted it designed, repurposing jeans, my own jeans and other materials that we had, but no new fabric, but stuff that we had. And this is one of the musettes. So they're these awesome bags. I used it on Memorial Day, actually, and this one, the reason I love this one, still haven't sold this one yet, but breaking it in, has a little Pepper interior pocket here, zippers, and a little pocket that you can use to put your little chapstick or your phone, slides right in there really well. I still have some of these to sell for Pepper support, for supporting what we are continuing to do. So Lenore came up with an amazing design for this and continues to do them here and there when we can. So,
yay! Yeah.
What'd you say?
Upcycling.
Upcycling. Yeah. Yep.
For the bicycles.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
So, and this one is awesome because it has a couple of different pockets, y'all. So you can, so anyway. So those are some of the things additionally that Lenore has done relative to Pepper and the project in terms of really, hands-on, aside from designing things. And as I've said, there's been jewelry elements. There's been in Ricochet, there's this wonderful cuff that I just keep referring to. It's just such a signature piece. It says a lot just with one wraparound, What else do you want to share with us before our time runs out?
Well, I got to tell you that here in the time of Corona, life has been surprisingly creative and contemplative too, but definitely creative. And what I have sought to do, which is not terribly different from what I like to do in costume, is see what I can do to take care of people. And I've been making and donating masks, and selling.
And they're incredible, everyone. I have several, and have sent them to my family as well. They're beautiful.
Yeah. And I've been also experimenting now on making the kind that you can, so that people who are deaf can read lips through them.
Oh my God, that's incredible.
In life, and part of what I've been lucky is all of the things that I have loved throughout my whole life feel like they come together in design. It's like, as an actor, one of my first roles on Law and Order, I was an interpreter, a cop and an interpreter. So my two lives come together there. And as communications professional and interpreter, absolutely feeds into my costume design and using my hands and my visual to tell a story, and to be part of the design team, be part of telling a story, not it's a bringing together as opposed to, wait, I got this, I'm all on my own. But it's all about us all working together and building the world. And in some ways, not much has changed for me. I'm really, as we're on pause, the world is a bit on pause right now. I'm still trying to see what kind of world can I keep adding to make it a better place.
You're such an amazing human, Lenore. And I say again, we're so just incredibly grateful to have you. I'm just blessed as a friend and have always been for these many moons since we met. My God, how many years ago was that? I don't even want to say. Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm absolutely honored to be your friend, and you've always been so supportive and so interested in what, not just me, but what people have to offer. And you're like really there for letting people show their stuff and really explore deeply what their talents are and because they recognize their own greatness.
Well, it's what it's all about. We all got to make the world go round. So, well, on that note, thank you for the big kiss to everyone, and Katie as well, newest member of our Pepper team.
Yes.
And so thank you all for listening, for tuning in to Costume Design. And I have to mention, Lenore has been nominated for Costume Design in many of our festivals and won an Accolade Global Costume Design Award. And there will be more, I am sure. A lot of festivals don't have costume design, and some of it, with Pepper, some of it is a little bit minimal. There's not a lot of the costume design awards go to like the sci-fi shows or horror, because they're so much more elaborate. But it's wonderful to be recognized in your field when in the work that you've done, when people do take a keen eye and go, you know what, the specificity of that character really is well defined by the costume design and what you create. So shout out to everyone looking at the show on the jury panel. Look out for my girl Lenore. So,
Thank you.
of course. So, all right. Thank you, everyone. Again, we will be coming back to you with more Pepper project 6-pack podcast series, whatever the name of the thing is. I said to Katie, it's a new acting lip warm up.
Yes.
So
Pepper Project.
Pepper Project podcast 6-pack series. So, all right. Thanks again, everyone. And my love, and thank you, Lenore. Thank you again so much.
An honor.
Mwah. Thank you.